Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Forged here. Today we're going to be looking at Faction Wars again. We're going to be looking at Sylvan Watchers Stage 21 in specific. I'm going to go show you guys who I use for the team and what each person does and brings for the team. So let's go ahead and start taking a look. Let's navigate our way over to Faction Wars real quick. Click on Sylvan Watcher, Stage 21. So as you guys can see, I got Lemonisi, Elva, Padraig, Cryodan, and Balar. Lemonisi, she's going to be used for our damage and our block buffs. Elva, we use for a revive and heals. Padraig, we use for heal, turn meter boost, buffs, and ally attack. By the way, his passive ability, phenomenal. Cryodan, we use for turn meter control and regular control. And Balar, we use for damage and some poisons. And as I showed the presets before, we didn't really have any moves in specific that we were going to be using at specific times or certain times. And so if you guys wanted to go through and build this team for yourself, I'm sure you guys could speed tune this to be faster than sub 2 minutes. I'm sure you guys could break that 90-second or maybe even a minute mark, especially if you have better souls or gear. But after we take a look at this run, we'll look at these guys' gear. And that way you guys can kind of see what the stats are looking like and the gear sets are looking like for those guys. And then we'll take a look at some replacements for this faction, because in all honesty, this is my favorite faction. I think this is one of, if not the most stacked factions in the entire game, just because they have so much versatility and so many people that do so much and bring so much for a team composition. So as we're taking a look at this, we're already about to finish off the second wave, coming up on a minute in. And as we get to the boss, we're at a minute and 5 seconds, and we're just going to start chipping away at the boss through Balar and Lemonisi. Those guys are our damage dealers for the team. But then also circling back to what I was talking about with Padraig, his passive ability is that he is going to give a buff at the start of his turn to all of his allies, depending on what type of champion they are. So if they're support, they get accuracy. If they're attack, they get attack. If they're defense, they get an increased defense. If they're HP, they get a shield. And so every single turn that he has is just phenomenal for buffs. So there we have it, minute 36 seconds, less than 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at the gear that we used on these guys. That way you guys can see what the stats are looking like. Lemonisi, we got rocking some Savage and some Righteous. A little bit slow, but she is pushing 300% crit damage and almost 6,000 attack with enough accuracy to land her debuffs. Molten Deathbell for the Relic, fully booked. No blessings yet, though. She's in my list of priorities. Padraig, we have a 9-piece protection so that we get the buff, or so that we get the damage buff for every buff that he places. We have him at 284 speed. Just tanky with it, fully booked, fully mastered, because I use him everywhere. Elva, we also have a 9-piece protection, 307 speed, tanky, got the wand of submission on her, fully booked and fully mastered. And then we got Balar, who we have in some lethal, 260 on the speed and 230% crit damage, just because he lands a lot of poisons and then he activates them. So I want him going fast. Not booked yet and fully mastered, because I have gotten that done yet. And then we got Cryo in 9-piece Feral so that we get more damage from his debuffs that he's putting out. So the freezes have him fully booked, and I only have a couple masteries on him because I only other use him in Fire Knight. All right, now let's talk about some replacements in case you guys don't have who I have. So for damage, we have people like Nice, who everybody knows is an absolute thug when it comes to dealing damage for Sylvan Watchers. We got people like Kaldor, Aileel, even epics like Lochwain and Enda. All of these people are strong choices for damage. We have even Mistrider Dythe and Pan the Bowhorn. Uh, so I mean, there's lots of choices for damage options for Sylvan Watchers, and then for supports, we have our bias because in her alt form, she's going to bring the Stone Skin as well as 2 continuous heals for all of her allies. And then even if you want to go all the way down to epics, you have Ayla, you have Wiranon, and then going back up to some legendaries, you have Niam who places the block damage and everything. Oella and Aestrid both are great supports. And then if you want to talk about control for Sylvan Watchers, even you could have epics doing the job, like Thorn Golem for placing his fears, Cryodin for freezes, Dudane for his counterattack in the taunt and everything like that. So I mean, there's so many choices to lock down waves with Sylvan Watchers. So they're just an absolutely stacked faction. Alrighty, guys, there you have it. There's who I use for Faction War and some replacements that maybe you guys could use. Let me know what you guys want to see next down below. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in.